Morning to my sons and daughters. Today we are moving on to the new topic of the Unit 5, page number 53, Unit 5, SRRM 19. Though you may be thought, why sir is going to present about SRM in Katangalatur? No, nothing. S for social, O for religious, O for reforms, and M for movements of 19th century. That means social and religious reform movements in the 19th century. Before going into the learning objectives, we are going to divide the social religious reform movements into two things: general specific issue and a specific issue problem. General problem and specific issue problem into two parts. Then we can move on to the learning objectives afterwards, introduction. In the general problem, what is in the general problem? Hindu educational is the problem. Even now we are following the British religious educational only. Now only during 1921, the Prime Minister, Honorable Respected Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is celebrating his 70th birth anniversary today, has brought the new education policy in India. It's going to be implemented. There will be a vast change. But the social reformers of the 18th century thought the education is not good. It not like 13th or 14th century is not being followed. The education system in the 13th and 14th century was good. That not been followed now. The social reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy and many followers, reformers like him, protested. Next is social belief. Moodanambike, social belief. Believing all the things. Even we can say superstitions belief. And racial discrimination. Where a downtrodden people not been allowed, they may be treated as slaves. They may be not entered into the schools in olden days in the education system or in hotels or anywhere they have been ill-treated. Again, that is the general problem in India during that social in the 19th century. The second one is social problem. Religion. A person wanted to change a religion, unable to change the religion. Though the British missionary ruled right from 1600, they not only have a trade with India, came to trade with India, even to change the people as a Christianity. And second one is child marriage. During 19th century, there happened the child marriage. At small age itself, the age of 5 or 7, the child marriages happen. Why? Because for the property reason only. The child marriages happened in olden days. And the Widow Remarriage Act, which have been abolished in 1921 by the Britishers. Anyhow, it's prevalent during the 18th century and 19th. If a girl has been widowed at 18 or 20, 25 years, what will happen? A cruel treatment was given for the woman at the age when she became a widow. Her hair had been blunt and sit in a corner by wearing a kavi sari, not coming out of the house for 1 year, not attending the auspicious function. Next, polygamy, the specific issue problem. In India is having one thought, one man, one woman. Not a person is having illegally relations with another woman, or a woman having illegally relation with one another male person. Second, sati, which have been abolished by the Lord William Bentinck with the influence of the Lord Raja Ram Mohan Roy, the pioneer movement of India. When a husband have been died, the women have been compelled, not voluntary, he have been going into the 6 feet pyre along with the husband after his death. Compelled. A woman is compelled and thrown out inside the pyre because for the property to share among the relatives. Next, Parda system. In the Muslims, among it was prevalent in the Muslims. Better you have been seen in the street, the Muslims are wearing the parda, full black covering them. The social reformer was against that. And female infanticide 1 and 2, which been prevailed among the Rajputs, princes in India. Later on tell about that what is female infanticide 1 and female infanticide 2. Then now we are moving on to the learning objectives. The influence of Western ideas, that means culture, civilization, race, sex, and Christianity in creating a new awakening in the 19th century in the British India. What and all the prevailed in India that later on began to change. Contestation. What is the contestation? Arguing or disagreeing in the social and religious path. What is the way the religious are following, how they are worshipping, in social how the people have been treated, opposition to practice like sati, slavery, untouchability, tindamai, and child marriage, kurandai kalyanam sulva. Opposition to the idolatry, idolatry. What by idolatry? That means worshipping the idols. The reformers hate. There is only one God in the world. Why are you worshipping? Mulavar Uchavar. The stone is Mulavar and in metal is Uchavar. Why you are worshipping? There is only one supreme God. The forms may be different, but only one God you should worship. Rituals, mother chadangugal, and superstition belief, Moodan Nambikaigal. Why? Because of the belief of the superstition only, the goddess man have been grown in India. Like Nityananda Swamiji. And even some bishops in Naharkoil. And Tiruchi Lingam Swamiji. Most of them are arrested. But good persons are there, goddess persons. Like Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, Amrita Mai, Isha, Kalki in Kerala, the good goddesses man also. But still people are believing the superstitions. Fourth one, contribution to Brahma Samaj. The Brahma Samaj contributed by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. He changed the old the things, superstitions are the excuse me, sorry. Arya Samaj by Mul Shankar or Dayananda Saraswati, other name Mul Shankar. Ramakrishna Mission started at Bellur by Swami Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Parahamsa. Theosophical Society by Annie Besant. First it was taught by Madame Blavatsky and O. Henry of American Russian lady Blavatsky. Now it been running in the Adayar. In India, Annie Besant followed that. And Aligarh movement, the only movement for Muslim. To champion the cause of the Muslim, Mushtaq Ali started the Aligarh movement. It's to the regeneration of India, to change India in the customs, culture, rituals, or sati, and polygamy, and child marriage, widow marriage, untouchability, slavery, all should be changed. And role played by prominent personalities, I said now, Rajaram Mohan Roy, followed by Devendranath Tagore, the father of the great Indian poet, famous poet, Rabindranath Tagore's father, and Jyotiba Phule, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Many persons have been followed personalities in bringing about this awakening among the Parsis and Sikhs. Especially they believed this. Sikhs in Punjab and Parsis are people who came from Persia to India. Now Ratan Tata is a Persian. Social movement of Jyotiba Phule and reform movement in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. He is the first person in India to form a separate schools for untouchables, for downtrodden people in India. That credit goes for Jyotiba Phule. Is born in Maharashtra. Now we move on to the lesson of Introduction, we are moving on. English education introduced with the object of producing clerks. A person who works in the offices and all, the English developed. Also produced new English educated middle class. Even the middle class people have been English educated like Raja Ram Mohan Roy and all. Though he is born in Bengali, this class came under the influence of Western ideas. I said civilization, culture, race, and sex, and thoughts, எண்ணங்கள். Christianity also had its effect on the newly emerging middle class. Even the Christianity have been into the middle class. Not only the English have been educated in the middle class. Even the Christianity. For example, I can say in and around the Sriperumbudur village, if you go there, many have been converted into the Christianity. That's a very sorrowful news, sad news for us. Though small in the number, the educated middle class began to take a lead in the political as well as in the reform movements like Rajaram Mohan Roy, Devendranath Tagore, Jyotiba Phule, Keshav Chandra Sen, Ishwar Vidyasagar, like that person, the movements. The Indian reformers were, however, quite hesitant. They are very calm, they moved very slowly to subject their old notions. They are not moving fast. Notion means not suddenly, slowly. And the habits to critical scrutiny. What do you mean critical scrutiny you are having here? Excuse me. When something is examined or criticized, what happening that been criticized, that is the meaning of that old notions and what and all that happened earlier. Criticizing that is called notions. And habits to critical scrutiny. What do you mean by critical scrutiny? When something is examined or criticized. Next one. Instead they attempt to harmonize both Indian and Western culture. So what may harmonize? To produce the serious harmony, serious things they produce in the Western culture, both Indian and Western culture. The ideas and their action help to mitigate social evils. What may mitigate? To change. Mitigate means to change. It was a painful thing for the reformers. What happened in India? Sati, polygamy, child marriage, widow remarriage is not allowed, slavery, untouchability. That made harmful to them. That made serious. That made painful for the reformers. That is the meaning of mitigate. And second paragraph. And child marriage and various superstitions, believe sati. When husband have been died, the woman is thrown into the 6 feet pyre. Pyre. Pyre means சிதைக்கு சீ முட்டினாள்கள் சொல்லுவாங்க. அந்த சிதையை அடுக்காக அந்த விரவெல்லாம் அடுக்கி வச்சிருப்பாங்க. That is called pyre. Pyre. That is compelled being thrown out. Though here and there in Gujarat and some UP is still happening, is still prevailing, though it has been abolished by Lord William Bentinck with the influence of the Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Even the Britishers not wanted to involve in the culture of India, but the reformers, social reformers compelled the governors during the time. Lord William Bentinck abolished sati in 1829, December 4. Female infanticide. 1 and 2 I already said in the learning objectives. What is one, sir? If a female baby is born, especially among the Rajputs it happened, that female infanticide, they should marry with more jewels. The girls who have been married are given more property. Unless no one will be marrying them, even rich or poor. That is it. So only many of them, like Karutama movie, they're killing the female baby. Erukambal Kurtu, they have been died in the, when they born itself. The movie of Karutama is a very good example for the female infanticide. One, where the female have been killed in early stage because they have to give more property, rich or poor. The female infanticide too. If Rajputs, how we are worshipping the God, if you are suffering from fever or something to be success, we are praying to God, that should be success. I will offer Kuru. I will offer the Tirumanjanam. I made Archana to God. Like that, how you are worshipping. That the second female infanticide, Rajput princess, used to worship the God. If it is my thing is success, I will throw my one of the baby to the mouth of the river Ganga, female baby into the river of Ganga, alive. How we can tolerate now? It is possible now. We are taking to doctor, we are taking to hospitals, here and there. Now it's possible throwing the baby. But it happened among the Rajput princes. And child marriage. Some of the higher people, upper class people, make the child marriage at the early because for the property to be shared among themselves. The property shouldn't go outside to anyone. That should be inside the relations. Even now it's happening. Now child marriage is happening. Marrying a male and female into the relations for the property. That should be changed. And various superstitions believe, Mudanambike help. For a person will be coming, a house is not constructed in a proper way. So demolish the house and build as I say, this way. So you pray to God. That will happen. If you're not having anything, pray to God. But God is there. We should believe God. He is the God Almighty. That's why even Raja Ram Mohan Raj said, there is only one God, one supreme God. No ideal worship. No forms of God. Only one God is there. That's why he is not telling that there is no God. Believe God, but only one supreme God. So that's why superstition, many godless men have been born. Going to that persons and all and asking what will happen about my future. What about my daughter, my son? They'll be educated, go for the good profession. No, nothing. If they work hard, they will get a job. The goddesses man will make you something for the money. So that should be changed. Superstition. Pray to God. I doesn't tell not to pray to God. Pray to God, but only one supreme God. Don't believe the goddesses man. But good goddesses man are there. Isha, Amrita Mai, and Pandit Ravi Shankar Ji. You may be heard or not, I doesn't know. Only of my age people know about that goddesses man during the 60s and 70s. Isha. Go shop. In America, Rajneesh, the man who ruined the world through his Osha. How he had been identified by Pamela Borders, one of the devotee of Rajneesh, came out and gave an interview to the circulations, papers, and to the medias, Doordarshans. Then only we know about the Rajneesh. Who is Rajneesh? Who go through the net and read about Rajneesh or learn from him about some other persons who have been like my age about the Rajneesh goddess man who cheated the people. What and all happened, the things in the Rajneesh ashram, you know very well if you go about him, if you come to know about him, overcome about him. Next para. The reform movements of 19th century in the realm of religion fall. And the two broad categories, reformers, movements. One have been wanted to change, one have been accepting, there are two reform movements, like Brahma Samaj, founded by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, and Parthana Samaj, Aligarh movement. Parthana Samaj is by Mul Shankar, Dayananda Saraswati. Shortly they used to say DAV. How the DAV schools are running? Dayananda Anglo Oriental Vedic Schools, DAV, in the name of him, Dayananda Saraswati. And Aligarh movement, the only Muslim movement to champion the cause, because they became fear. How the Hindu reforms are wanted to change. What about us? Whether the British may be involved in our rituals, in our culture, whether they may be changing us also. How a person who never believed the God have been changing to Christianity. How the Hindus have been changing Christianity. Like that. And movements such as Arya Samaj. That means that only Devendra Mul Shankar, Dayananda Saraswati. The Ramakrishna Mission and the Deoband movement, they were also attempts to challenge the oppressive social structure. Jyotiba Phule in Pune, he never even believes God. Narayana Guru from Kerala, and Ayangali in Kerala, and Ramalinga Adigalar from Badalur. In between, a place in between Viluppuram and Neyveli, you can see, go to Ramalinga Adigal. His famous speech is Badiya Payirpadulam Vadine. That's a very good thing of Ramalinga Adigal and Jodi Dasar of Tamil Nadu, who have been against this, changing the old attitude. We move on to the topic, early reform movements in Bengal, Raja Ram Mohan Roy and Brahma Samaj, in the next topic lesson. Thank you very much. Go through this topic. Don't accept the back of the exercise, fill in the blanks or assassination or anything detail. Or if you learn the, come along with the teacher, you can know the nook and corners. If there is a question from nook and corners, you can easily answer. Go through the topic. Even you refer the dictionaries, whether Kumar sir is correct or not. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.